Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to the channel, or welcome back to the channel. This is Ozark Living. Today's video and topic, we're talking about some of the negatives to short-term rentals, investment properties here at Lake of the Ozarks. Let's check it out. All right, hey guys, my name is Scott, and if this is your first time visiting the channel, welcome, thank you, and while you're here, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button along with the notification bell, because every Tuesday and Thursday, I'm dropping a new video telling you everything you need to know about moving to or living in Lake of the Ozarks. We're also a group of licensed lenders and agents, so as much as I love making these videos, I would love even more to help you with your lending or real estate needs, so that number popping up below, I am the guy that'll answer the phone calls, the text messages, and the emails. If there's a question, a scenario, or just something that I can do, please don't hesitate to reach out and let me know. Till then, we've been talking a little bit about short-term, long-term investment opportunities here at the lake. And go back last week and watch Tuesday and Thursday's videos where we talked about things to think about as you're getting into that opportunity of Airbnbs, Verbos, long-term rentals. There's a lot of good things to think about when doing that, but there's also some negatives or some things to really think about and consider to make sure that that is definitely something that you want to do. So we wanted to kind of maybe shed light on some of those negatives or some of those things that can be a little bit scary. Make sure you have all the facts, and then obviously we're here to help answer any of those questions. But I mentioned it in those previous videos, and I'm going to hammer it home again on this one. Number one is you have to make sure that at whatever single family home or condo that you're purchasing, if it has an HOA, that the covenants of that HOA allow for short-term or long-term rentals. The last thing we would ever want to have happen is that you get the idea, you're excited about it, you find a property that you think is perfect, you buy it, and then you try to list it, and all of a sudden you learn the hard way that you're not able to do that. So hey, hammer it home, whatever property is, single family, condo, make sure if it has an HOA that we've done our due diligence, we've read through those bylaws, and that property allows for rentals. Now, once you find the property and we're past understanding that it can be rentable, there's a lot of things that go into actually getting the property prepared. And I think from an outsider's point of view is we look at all the great, wonderful things with listing it and earning income and having somebody else pay the mortgage and retirement benefits. There's so many great things that we might get clouded with all of the positivity and not realize how much hard work and effort goes into getting a property even ready for short-term rentals. And so once you buy a property, we're probably understanding that that's not ready for renters, right? It's not turnkey rentable. Now, it could be a completely remodeled property, but there's a lot of things that have to go into getting it ready. And that's making sure that certain doors have locks on them, right? Or you have smart locks on the front of the door. You want probably some strategic cameras around the place, and making sure that however the property is laid out, that you kind of have eyes on the outside of your property. And so maybe a camera above the garage, in the driveway, and one over the front door, one out, off the back patio. Maybe there's one down on the dock. You're allowed to have some outside cameras, definitely no inside cameras, right? You can't be creepy and weird, but outside cameras are okay. And then obviously you want some strategic locks. You're going to want certain closets or storage rooms or whatever it is. You're going to want to be able to lock those to keep guests from getting into certain areas. And so you're going to have to go through that, right? You're going to have to go through basic things like painting and furnishings and doing things to make it feel cozy. And you want all the amenities there at the property for people to take advantage of, or pots and pans and silverwares. There's a lot of things to go in. You have to go into it with the mindset that you are now in the hospitality business. And by being a host, that you have to make sure that this thing is ready for people to show up and obviously start renting and living there. And so understand that there's a lot of time that goes into getting them ready. There's also another financial obligation into getting it ready. You're also going to want to take probably some professional photos. So don't skimp on pictures. Don't go and just take them with your iPhone. Call in a professional photographer, someone that does, residential home photos, and make sure you take some really good high quality pictures, probably during the day, during summer months when the trees and the flowers and the property looks its best. But don't skip on photos either. So put the love and attention into the inside of the property to make it feel cozy. Let's make sure we have some eyes on the outside of the property, keyless entry stuff to make it easy for renters. And then obviously we want to take some really, really good photos so when it is put out online, the property looks the best and obviously is more desirable for renters. So once you have the property basically ready to be rented, you also have to make sure that you have the right cleaners and the right maintenance people. And so if you're renting it and maybe you already live here and you're looking for an investment home, then maybe you're close by and you're able to go out and do the cleaning and do the maintenance if it ever needs. But if you're purchasing this property from a distance, you're going to really want to make sure that you have the best cleaner that you can find. And you hope that that cleaner has some type of maintenance connection because something is going to go wrong, right? Something is going to break. And if you're hours away, then obviously you're not able to just drive over and take care of it. And so food for thought, managing the property from a distance, and even if it's just our own vacation home, right? We still have to be able to manage things from a distance. And so being able to find local connections and have the right people to clean the home and flip it and turn it for the next renters is very important. And ultimately, if something does happen or when something happens, that you have a maintenance guy that's able to go in there and fix the situation before the next renters come in. And so take it from me, right? We know that I live in Colorado and Missouri. I split my time, but when I'm here in Colorado, and obviously I have renters in my property, we have a great cleaning person that has a maintenance connection and it never fails. Something happens, a towel hook falls off, a lock breaks, something happens at the property. And so you have to make sure that that maintenance guy can get in there. You also want to make sure you have a really good cleaner to go in and flip that property as well. So think about that before you put it online. All right, so now that we know that the property is rentable from an HOA perspective, when we buy it, we know we have to put in energy and time and money to make sure that the property looks good and it's cozy for renters. We're going to want to install some cameras around the property so we have eyes on it. And then obviously we got to make sure that we have a really good connection with cleaners and maintenance crews for when those times come. But another thing to obviously thinking about and consider is the timing of this purchase and what you're looking to get out of it. And so if you know that you have to go through all of those stages to get the property ready to be rented, and let's say you purchase the home in June. Well, you're already a couple months into the peak season. You probably are going to need some time to get the property ready, and you might be coming into the back half of the season as you're trying to launch your property for renters. And so we have to understand at the same time that this is a peak season, summertime tourism type place. And so your peak season is going to be from Memorial Day to Labor Day, right? And maybe a little bit on the front end of that and a little bit on the back end, but that is the time that you are trying to maximize the rentability and to maximize your profit and ROI. And so as you're thinking about making that purchase and going through the process and the steps, you should also think about the timing of when you want to do it. Timing will just be crucial for making sure that you're maximizing that, again, rentability within that first year. And so go through those stages, get on a home search. Obviously, you want to have those conversations on pros and cons versus condos and single family homes, but there's a lot of energy that goes into getting a property ready to be listed. And then once it is listed and you do have renters starting to book it up, you have to remember to put yourself in the mentality of the hospitality business. And so how you manage your Verbos, your Airbnbs, those platforms are all going to be super crucial. And if you're too busy to manage those and communicate with people and send emails and make phone calls and do all of that stuff, then one thing to think about and consider is just have somebody else do it. And so there's plenty of platforms or management companies that will do all of that stuff for you. And that's a scary thing, or that's a time consuming thing. And it's just, hey, it's too much. I'm good with purchasing it and getting it ready, but the management of it afterwards, I'm just not in it for that. Not a bad idea to maybe find that management company. Like, sure, they're gonna take a little bit off the top, maybe 5%, and I have no idea, but they're gonna take something off the top, but what's your time worth, right? They're also in it to make money. And so if they're not able to rent it, then they're not making any profit either. So there's also an incentive for that management company to stage it appropriately and make sure the pictures are good and make sure it's clean and it's well maintained. That's their job, right? Because they want that property to be rented because they want to make a profit on it. So think about that as you go through the process and as you're starting to weigh those pros and cons. Maybe it could be better to have somebody else, manage that for you. All right, guys, so there you go. Some things to think about and consider. And again, go back to Tuesday and Thursday's videos where we're talking about all the good things and the pros and the investment opportunities and the equity and the appreciation and retirement. There's a lot of great things that go into short-term or long-term rentals. But hey, there are some things to think about before you get to that stage. So hey, you got to find the right property. You got to put some time, energy, and money into that thing, getting it ready. You're going to have to manage it from a distance. If you're cool with doing all of that stuff and you can handle that, great. If not, have a management company. But there's a lot of great things that go into that short-term or long-term rental game, but there's also some scary negatives that can go into it too. So we love to have those conversations with you. We have them all the time, right? Again, I say it, we're licensed lenders and agents. I love making these videos, but I love having those type of conversations with you even more. So one more time, that number popping up below, I'll be the guy that answers the phone calls and the text messages and the emails. If there's a question, a scenario, or you want to talk through more of this short-term, long-term rental stuff, there's a lot more that goes into it. And so I encourage you, reach out, let me know what I can do to help. Until then, we'll see you on the next video.